Let me tell you something about voting in this country that almost nobody's teaching you. The people who tell you your vote doesn't matter are the people benefiting when you don't vote. That's documented. There are receipts, reports, Senate investigations. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn exactly who paid to convince you voting is useless. So in 2016, we all know the Russian government ran a massive operation, all to interfere in the US presidential election. But here's the part most people don't know. Two separate reports prepared for the United States Senate Intelligence Committee, one by the Oxford Internet Institute and one by a cybersecurity firm called New Knowledge with Columbia University. They found that Russia's most aggressive disinformation effort was specifically aimed at Black American voters. Not white voters, not Republican voters, Black voters, more than any other group. The operation was run by an organization in St. Petersburg called the Internet Research Agency. They set up over 30 Facebook pages targeting Black Americans, 10 YouTube channels with 571 videos, all focusing on police violence against Black Americans, multiple Instagram accounts, including one called Blackstagram, fake activist sites with names like Blacktivist, Black Matters USA, Woke Blacks. One of those Facebook pages, Blacktivist, had 4.6 million likes, more engagement than most authentic Black activist pages at the time. The content was specifically designed to make Black Americans cynical about voting. The narrative included memes that said, "I won't vote. Will you? Everybody sucks. We're screwed 2016. Not voting is a way to exercise our rights." In the final weeks of the campaign, those Russian accounts were telling Black voters to stay home or vote third party, telling them no candidate cared about them, telling them Hillary Clinton received money from the KKK, telling them they could text their vote, which, let's make that very clear, is not a thing. You cannot text your vote. That was a foreign government spending real serious money, all to convince us, Black Americans, not to vote. Now, here's what happened after all of that. In 2012, Black voter turnout hit a historic high of 66.6%. In 2016, Black voter turnout fell to below 60% for the first time in 20 years. That was the largest single-cycle drop in modern history. Researchers estimate that nearly 2 million Black voters who turned out for Obama in 2012 did not vote in 2016. Donald Trump won Michigan by 10,000 votes. He won Wisconsin by 22,000, Pennsylvania by 44,000. The presidency was decided in 3 states by margins smaller than the population of one Black neighborhood. And while all that was happening, Russian operatives were spending money to convince Black voters to stay home. In 2020, a British news organization called Channel 4 News obtained a cache of nearly 5 terabytes of data, a database built by a company called Cambridge Analytica, working with the Trump 2016 campaign, operating out of an office in San Antonio called Project Alamo. The database categorized nearly 200 million Americans into 8 groups. One of those groups was labeled deterrents, voters the campaign didn't want to vote at all. 3.5 million Black Americans were placed in the deterrents category. In Wisconsin, Black people are 5% of the population, but they made up 17% of that deterrence. In Georgia, Black people are 32% of the population, but they made up 61% of that deterrence. Those voters were then specifically targeted with ads on Facebook, all designed to make them not show up. The ads resurfaced those videos of Hillary Clinton calling Black youth super predators. The campaign spent nearly $55,000 in Georgia alone, running that one video to Black voters. Cambridge Analytica was paid $5.9 million by the Trump 2016 campaign. That's a documented operation. A database specifically built to demobilize 3.5 million Black Americans in a country with hundreds of years of voter suppression already baked into the legal system. So I want you to understand something. That message is not organic. It's engineered. It's been produced by the Russian government, by an American political consulting firm, by Facebook ads paid for by political campaigns, by bot networks, troll farms, by influencers being paid to promote disengagement. That line, "voting doesn't matter," is one of the most expensive products in American history. People paid millions of dollars to make sure that idea stuck in your head. Because the math is simple. If Black voters turn out at 2012 levels, Trump doesn't win 2016. If Black voters had not been demobilized, the Supreme Court that gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2016 doesn't exist. The judges that Trump appointed, the executive orders that he signed, the Voting Rights Act being dismantled, the Civil Rights Act being rolled back, DEI being killed, affirmative action being killed, ICE being expanded, Project 2025 being implemented. All that is the downstream of one decision, a specific number of Black voters not turning out in 2016. That's what your vote does at scale. That's why they spent millions trying to take it from you. So when somebody says your vote doesn't matter, ask them why an entire foreign intelligence operation was run specifically to convince you of that. Ask them why a $5.9 million database was spent to keep 3.5 million Black Americans at home on Election Day. Ask them why every wave of voter suppression in this country's history has focused so hard on Black voters. If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be working this hard to take it from you. The amount of money, infrastructure, and foreign government operation spent to keep Black Americans from voting is the loudest possible proof that our vote is the most powerful political weapon that we have. They're afraid of us. They're afraid of one specific block of voters showing up. That block is us. So no, your individual vote isn't symbolic. Your individual vote is the thing that they've been pouring money into for a decade to take away from you. That alone should tell you what to do with it. And I know Mama ain't raised no quitter. Come on now.